All right, what's up, YouTube? This is a new series we're going to be doing, weekly matchup guides. This week, I've actually had a lot of people bring this up about Tryndamere. People struggle with Tryndamere a lot, so I wanted to talk about it. I played a game of it today, and wanted to talk about it. Wanted to talk about the lane, how you should be playing it in the early game, mid game, late game, team fights, split pushing, all that type of stuff. We're going to go ahead and fast forward into it. I'll let you take a look at my runes. Now, these are like preferred runes as well that I would like probably always use in this lane. I don't think there's any other reason not to. It just works out better. So it's Conquer, Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, Bone Plating, and this is actually interchangeable. So Unflinching, you can trade that out for Revitalize as well. I took Unflinching this game just because I would plan on going Ninja Tabbies, obviously, and they've got Oriana, the slow from Trynd, Lulu, Polly, all that stuff. So I took Unflinching just so I can get away with not building CC and still have a little bit of tenacity as well. So in this lane, it is a little bit of RNG really, because you've got when he crits on you, it can be really bad, and when he gets ahead in the lane, you're not coming back. So that's something to keep track of as well. In the early levels, we're just trying to trade and get as many trades as possible, right? Hitting the vitals and then backing up. He's most likely going to take E and try and trade that way. So you kind of want to avoid that. If there's any way that you can use your full Q range to hit the vital and then back away, that's good. When he hits level 2, you would think that you'd be able to beat him, but a lot of the times you can't. Just because there's a lot of healing on that level 1 Q. So really what we're looking for is just to basically survive the laning phase, right? And so there's two ways that you can do this. And you can either rush Ninja Tabbies, right? Or you can just go for straight damage and go for the whip. Preferably, I typically take Ninja Tabbies. Now, in this lane, you see that he's running Flash and Ghost instead of Ignite. So when it comes down to Tryndamere running like Flash Ignite or rushing healing reduction, like a Executioner's, that's when it gets a little bit scary because you don't win that anymore. The only way you're really going to beat Tryndamere at level 6, your ulti versus his, is if you can kind of grab the ulti and then kite around in like a circle basically and avoid damage from him. So what you'll see me doing a lot is pushing the wave in and then backing, so I can get an advantage on him and force him to stay in lane because he doesn't have TP, so he's going to want to stay, and he's got enough sustain from his Q, and it makes him feel comfortable enough to stay. So we'll see. He's going to push this out, and we'll see how many minions we actually lose, because I'm pretty sure in this game we took a handful of backs while keeping him in the lane. But it forces him to stay and allows us to get more and more items. So right there we missed, 2 minions, and he's going to keep pushing it, and we're going to come back and catch all of this and only miss 2 off that back. And I picked up a cloth armor just because he literally does no other damage besides auto attacking. Rushing Ninja Tabbies is never a bad idea. It'll keep you alive in the lane because once you go down 1 kill, you're not coming back in that lane basically. So I'm just trying to avoid taking damage, also hit the vitals, keep him on his feet a little bit, and survive the lane. Because Tryndamere, as everyone knows, is a crazy split push champion. And that's all he's really going to want to do, is split push and put pressure on the map. But if you're stronger than him, then he can't do that. So here I'm pushing him back, but then I'm going to start shoving and make him make a decision, right? So either he's going to miss this entire wave, or he's going to stay and come back. Which he decides to stay and come back, which is what I want him to do. I'd rather him stay. And so I can keep pressure on him, make him miss CS by holding it a little bit longer. And then crash the wave to allow myself to get another back, so that I can have a gold lead inside of the lane. So that's all we're really looking for, is these fast trades like this. I do have vision. You always want to get vision too, because you never, like I said, literally if you go down a kill, you're not going to win this lane, or you're not going to have a chance. This is a pretty, it's not the best lane, but it's not the worst thing ever. It's just if he gets ahead, it can be kind of bad. It can be really bad too. Sometimes Tryndamere can be an RNG lane, and that's why you want to be really careful with your trades and not really risk it with the crits. So you see there I snuck in a Q, an auto reset, another E, sneaking a W. So we're just spamming abilities and making sure that we're shoving him under the tower, right? So he's got 200 HP, but he can't leave because he needs those minions. So we get another chance to back while he has to stay, basically. So we'll come back to lane even stronger than before. And if he does decide to leave and go back, this lane is actually going to push to me because it's going to catch right here, which is going to allow his wave to hit first. So he has no choice but to keep pushing. So now we've got boots, we've got our tier for our Mura mana, and we're in a very good spot. Right now. And so once again, look at the wave. We've only lost 1 minion so far. We're going to lose 2. Once again, we've lost 4 waves total, and we now have a 1,000 gold lead on him in the lane. So this would probably be the ideal time to let your jungler know that I want to fight right now, just because he is 6, and you don't want him to get away. So I'm actually not sure. I don't remember if I get him to come up here, but I'm pretty sure I'm asking for it, because this would be the ideal time to try and get a gank off. Now, I'm trying to hold this wave. I don't want to hit the tower. I want it to freeze. I don't want him to back. I want him to stay, because right now we have the advantage on him. So he's got 50 CS. If he backs, he's going to get a decent chunk of change here. So we're really just keeping him here. I got Skarner up here with me, so I know that I'm safe to kind of take some risky trades. But these are the ideal trades against him, is hitting the vitals, getting away, Q auto reset, E, or even that right there, just a Q in and a walk out, right? Just make him use his abilities, dance around him, and play with the lane a lot. So we just are going to keep doing that basically the entire time and not allow him to get any lead or any type of kill. Make sure we continue to have vision, knowing where Master Yi is. We see him in the bot lane, so we don't have to worry about him for now. So we're going to do the same thing we've been doing the entire game. Build up this massive wave and just crash it into him, basically. And then once we get Ninja Tabbies, you'll see how much less damage he does and how much more comfortable this lane becomes. So we're basically just going to continue doing that. And so the ulti here is basically just because I messed up, right? So I messed up there. But ulting him has 2 purposes. It allows me to stay out of range of his autos, and it also makes him think that somebody might be coming. Kind of messed that up, but we got the flash over the wall, and he can't really follow that. He has flash up, but some people aren't very good at that. But this is the good thing about having TP in lane when they don't, is that you're allowed to make a mistake. So making a mistake like that is never the worst thing ever. It's not the end of the lane just because you have TP up and he does not. So once again, he still has not backed. This guy has no prio whatsoever. He can't fight me anymore. I've got Ninja Tabbies. He has no choice but to back. And this is shoving back to me now. So you'll see that we have this big gap in CS. He once again has to make this decision if he's going to stay and allow me to freeze it. And we're basically just playing with him. We're not giving him any control of the lane. We're playing it the way that we want to. And he has no choice but to play the lane the way that I want him to play it. So I think he does actually finish the back here, but you'll notice how much CS he missed. He already missed 1, 2. I think he ends up missing like a wave and a half here just for the back. So we were down by about 20 CS just because we're trying to weave in a lot of trades while doing this. So he's missed 3, 4, and we're just keeping this frozen basically, and we'll catch him on the next wave. And this would also be another opportunity to let your jungler know, hey, I've got this wave frozen. Just be like, hey, I need some help here. And typically when you have it frozen on your side of the map like this, it would be a really good time to have your jungler gank just in general, regardless if it's Tryndamere or whoever. But this lane really comes down to just who's going to get that first kill. And right now we're in a very good spot. So we've got Tabbies, and he's not going to do that much damage. And a lot of Tryndameres like to do that cringe trade like that, where they like to auto and Q away from you. It's never a bad thing to try and bait it, because he'll usually take a tower shot, but you don't want to take the damage. Now, if you have bone plating, it's okay to take the damage, but you got to know, you should know that he's going to use that, right? Now, if you're both full health, it's okay to waste your parry. If you're not full health, then he can probably dive you, and you shouldn't do that. But making him take a tower shot is not bad. But you see how I'm just holding these minions, kind of frustrating him a little bit, and he wants to shove it. He wants to get it under the tower, and I'm just not allowing it, basically. And now that I have Tabbies, he does no damage at all. So this is the safer way to play the lane. It's going to be more consistent. You obviously can get a whip or something like that. Now, I told Skarner I needed some help. Here he is. and we are going to chase this kill here. And then Skarner does get the kill there, but it doesn't matter. So now that we have him dead, 20 seconds, now we want to shove. So this is one of the few times that I'll actually recommend using a parry to clear the wave. Now I just used it, so I don't have it. But you want to know where the enemy jungler is if you're going to use your parry to clear the wave, but it is a lot faster. You can line up the wave as it's walking into you and hit all 6 of them with your parry, and then typically if you have a whip, you can parry and then whip, and the casters will die, and then you can focus on the melee minions, right? So here, I'm just trying to get as much out of this as I can. So I might actually do it here where I'll parry the wave. So you'll see that it's going to hit most of them and then do damage. We see Master Yi. Obviously, we don't want to give anything up because this is such a vulnerable and volatile lane. Even with that little bit of a lead, we don't want to risk anything, right? So we're just going to go ahead and get out of here. And now we can get the whip. So he literally does no damage to me. I would say Tryndamere is kind of unfavorable for Fiora, especially if he's running Ignite. But you'll notice how our wave management has just been a lot better than his. Once again, we crash, we back, and we missed 1 minion, and that's it. We only missed 1 minion. That entire back there. We're managing the wave well, managing our summoners well. It comes down to a lot of little things in this lane and making sure that we're playing it the right way. Which we are doing here, which is great. Once again, even though we're still at 12 minutes, we're still going to do the same thing where we're just going to Q, hit those vitals when they're available to us, and if he moves up into us, we can definitely Q, auto reset E, and get off a bigger trade than he can. So we're really just looking for that. We're standing in between his wave and him to stop him from getting any CS on our side. So if he tries to walk up and hit anything on our side, he's going to have to take a lot of damage to do it. That's the ideal way to hold like a lane that you're winning, is to stand in between him and the minion wave, which we're still doing here, allowing the caster. So we're going to take that trade, but we win that trade. Another thing that I would recommend as well that's actually really helpful in this lane too, which I'll bring up. I didn't bring up in the beginning. So there's 3 options. There's not 2. So you either rush the whip, which I would say is like the C tier thing to do. You can rush executioners, which I would say is like the B tier thing to do. And I'd say the best thing to do is actually just to get tabbies. Like actually, tabbies is just going to be better. It allows you to get away. Most and you'll see, well, like I said, good vital trades there. We win the trade very hard. I would say executioners is more B tier, but it's not bad. So that's a terrible TP from Orianna, by the way. And at this point, the lane's over. At this point, the lane should be over, and he shouldn't be able to come back into anything here. We've gotten the extra 300 gold, and that should be all that we need. We've gotten help, Skarner, and then obviously the gift from Orianna as well. So at this point, we shouldn't need any more help. This is where we want to be. This is good. I actually think we dive this guy too. Oh yeah, but he's got all. Yeah, we're good. But at this point, we're once again. He's pretty low. He doesn't have a ulti here. So when Tryndamere doesn't have ulti, that's when you know that you just win, basically 10 out of 10 times. Especially if you've got, you know, a level advantage on him or whatever. Jinx. So at this point, Tryndamere has to play at our pace, right? So, and I know that a lot of people have seen it, where Tryndamere can be 0-2, 0-3, whatever, and still come back and dominate you in 1v1s. So that's why we're going to take Stride Breaker, because we want to slow him and we don't want him to be able to keep up with us, because even if he is behind, he's still going to be able to do a lot of damage. That's just the way the champion's built. It's happened to everybody. And he'll just kill you randomly because he's going to get 6 crits in a row, and it's just some RNG, and it happens. But getting a Stride Breaker basically helps out a lot in the sense that you'll be able to slow him and kite him out. You're going to want to kite him out regardless, but sometimes, you know, they're going to bring Ignite or Executioners in that healing cut, which is going to be really hard. And you'll see that I actually bought Executioners as well for this game, because I know I'm going to be splitting against him, and Tryndamere does heal a lot off of his Q, actually, because he's going to get it before he goes into rage mode, and then he goes into rage, and then you can't kill him for 3-5 seconds, and then he's going to heal again off the rest of that rage. So you're going to want a little bit of heal cut. It's really good. But at this point, This is where we have to take control of the split push, because regardless of how fat our team is or what kind of team comp we have, Tryndamere will always split push. Almost literally 99% of the time, a Tryndamere is going to split push. So since I'm so fed, I want him to play at my pace, and I want to be the one pushing the issue here, basically, and making him respond to me, not me respond to him. And if I do have to respond to him, I want him to know that I can kill him every time, right? So me having to respond to him shouldn't be a bad thing, because he shouldn't be able to kill me. So we're going to stride breaker him, slow him, and that's all we got to do. And we're using our ulti to actually run away, which a lot of people don't realize. You can use Fiora's ulti to run away. It's a pretty low cooldown ulti. It gives you that huge movement speed buff too, so I'm able to get away. And now Tryndamere is going to do Tryndamere things. Look at this. And that's what I'm talking about right there, how he's going to get those random crits and just two-shot somebody when he's 0-4. It does happen, but as long as we play it right, it won't happen to us on the split. So now that we have our Mura mana, we do a lot of damage, and he can't really keep up whatsoever. And we have Baron minions as well, so I just want to put pressure on the map. I want Tryndamere to respond to me, which you'll see he literally is right off spawn. He's responding to me. I'm not responding to him. He's coming right to bot lane to try and stop me. I can go back and respond to him, and since he's going to do the same thing where he's going to try to get Gromp, try to get any minions to get back into the game. So let's see what happens here actually. So I think he actually decides to stay here, and we'll see what happens when he decides to stay, which is absolutely nothing because of how far behind he is. So he's trying to split for the tower, but since we played the early game so well, we do a lot of damage. He can't kill us. We hit all 4 vitals, make sure we get our heals. We slow with the parry to slow down his auto attacks, and then we finish the kill. And now we're going to keep splitting. And then when he spawns, he's going to have to respond to us again. So we're just going to keep doing that over and over again and basically make the Tryndamere useless in the game. But we'll see at this point, now that we've hit like 30 minutes, we haven't seen Tryndamere split in like 10 minutes because he can't. He literally can't anymore. We played the lane good enough that he can't split and be productive anymore. So basically, that's all we're trying to do, is make him a non-threat. Make him unavailable to be able to put any pressure on the map, and make him have to follow us, which we did a really good job at. And that's basically the lane. And that's basically how you're going to play the mid to late. Like when you're playing the mid game, you're just kind of like, you want to get that lead in the early so that you can be the one making the decisions on where you want to split and make him follow you. And Tryndamere ends the game 4-12. So there you have it. That is how you play against Tryndamere. And then next week we'll have a new matchup to go over as well. And obviously I'll get better at this and get more in depth and see what people's responses are and what they want to see in these matchup guides. But for now, that is how you play against Tryndamere in lane. So I'll see you later, guys. Have a good one, and thank you for watching. Peace out.